Well, Ethan, back for another album review, actually. You might be wondering, oh, this is a beer review channel. I mean, I thought it was about beer. What's with all these album reviews? It's just something I like doing. I love collecting vinyls. I love rock music, metal music, blues rock, all kind of rock music. So it's just something I enjoy doing. It's a hobby. Really, I enjoy it as much, if not more, than reviewing beer. So I watch a lot of guys on YouTube who talk about rock music and old albums and vinyl and CD and just classic rock bands. So I'm just like, well, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot too. I have a whole collection of CDs and vinyls. I have over 50 used vinyls now of just various bands, mostly hard rock though. So yeah, that's kind of where this started. It's just kind of a spur of the moment, going through my collection kind of thing. I enjoy talking about these bands. I do a little research before I come on here and review them, but a lot of these bands, just I know so much about them just because for the last couple years I just read books about rock music. I'd read Wikipedia about all the bands and all the albums, most of the classic rock bands from the 70s and 80s. Well, some of the bigger rock bands from that time period. I know of their albums. I kind of know when they were released. It's just kind of a hobby of mine. I kind of just read about and watch videos about old rock albums. Just kind of a thing. I just enjoy it. So, without further ado, let's get into this album review. And this is the third album from just a legendary hard rock heavy metal band. They don't like to refer to themselves as a heavy metal band. They consider themselves just a rock band out of the United Kingdom. They started in the late 60s, really hit it big in 1970 with two albums that year. With two albums, legendary albums. And their third that I'm reviewing is Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. A little bit of a glare. Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. Just 8 songs that are just absolutely drop-dead classics, just killer from top to bottom. Master of Reality was, well, I know it was released 1971. The exact date, July 21st. Recorded February through April of 1971. The studio was Island Studios in London on the Vertigo label. Vertigo was kind of a pretty big label for the time for the rock bands, and especially British rock bands. Produced by Roger Bain. This is their third album. The band consisted of Ozzy Osbourne on vocals, who later went on to have a successful solo career. Tony Iommi on lead and rhythm guitar, basically the sound of the band, for lack of a better term. Bill Ward on drums, fantastic drummer, and a guy named Geezer Butler on bass. Geezer was a nickname. 4 guys who really just helped jumpstart what we now call heavy metal. It could be, controversial as to who started metal or whatever, but heck, some people even say the Beatles helped start it. I don't know. I don't care. All I know is the Black Sabbath is a fantastic band. Their first 5 albums are probably their best. The ones with Ronnie James Dio are good, especially the first one in 1980, Heaven and Hell. But their third, really good. I consider this, well, it doesn't matter what I consider. To me, it seems to be one of their heaviest, if not their heaviest. It kicks off with a song called Sweet Leaf. Use your imagination. Early 70s, Sweet Leaf. After Forever is the second song. Really good song. Kind of underrated, kind of a religious themed and lyrical themed song. Just really kind of introspective lyrics about religion and God and just believing in a higher power or not, The next song is a song called Embryo, which is kind of a little instrumental. Kind of cool, though. Kind of just it's weird how they did that. They had these little like kind of moody, mellow songs in between just heavy bashing songs. So Embryo, cool little musical instrumental. The next song, Children of the Grave. This is a Sabbath classic. Played at concerts often. Great chorus. Just a great rumbling riff. And just the drumming and the bass throughout this album. And those two guys, Geezer and Bill Ward, they were the muscle of this band. If Tony Iommi was the lightning, they were the thunder, the bass and the drums. You can't have a great rock band without a great rhythm section, bass and drums. I mean, just look at Deep Purple, look at Led Zeppelin. Those bands were really great because they had those great rhythm sections. The Who, although I'm not as big of a fan of The Who, they just had that great bassist and drummer. And that was really just the backbone of these rock bands, and Sabbath, no less for sure. Next song is called Orchid, which is like a little flower, I believe. Again, another little instrumental kind of breath before the deep plunge kind of song. The next song, track number 6, is called Lord of This World. Fantastic song. So heavy. Such a just brontosaurus riff. All the classic Sabbath albums and songs really have just fantastic riffs from Tony Iommi, the riff master. The next song is a song called Solitude. Again, just kind of a mellow, kind of tranquil song, almost ballady, almost kind of spacey and psychedelic, maybe a little late 60s leftover. But Ozzy's singing really good. He's singing very clean instead of his usual, sort of high register singing and shrieking. He's singing sort of clean. Very nice little song, Solitude. The last song, and really they saved the best for last, is called Into the Void. Talk about a fantastic riff, a heavy, fat riff. Just the down-toned guitars. Well, I guess you turn them down. Just from Tony Iommi are just so heavy and fat. Just that sound that he really created and started, because he was missing part of his finger. It might have been his thumb, but he was missing a finger on one of his hands that he played. And so he had to play in such a way to down-tune the guitar so he could play with his handicap. And that's really kind of where his heavy sound came. It was like by accident from having a missing finger. So that's pretty interesting. Into the Void, fantastic song. It's like 6.5 minutes, long song. It just has change-ups in it, tempo changes. Again, that rhythm section is just tight. Bill and Geezer. Just a bombastic song. Just heavy, 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 especially for 1971. Cannot stress enough how great that song is and how heavy it is. But that's it. 8 songs, really short, tight album. It's only 34 minutes long. Today that's like EP length. Albums are like, that Iron Maiden album that just came out. It's like an hour and a half. People were complaining about how long it was. But yeah, back in the 70s, man, these albums were short and they were tight. 7 songs on an album, that's it. Release it. 34 minutes, but it's just 34 minutes of excellence. Just classic. A classic band at their peak. Recorded on album. There's no other way to put it. Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, their 3rd album. Excellent. If you don't know it, I highly recommend listening to it. Could be my favorite Black Sabbath song, but, that's highly debatable. It could change on the day. I love Paranoid. I love the first album. I love Volume 4. I love Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I love the one with Dio as well, but these first 3, they're cream of the crop, to quote Randy Macho Man Savage. Anyway, that'll be it for this album review of Master of Reality. And I think Master of Puppets from Metallica, they might have borrowed the name of their 3rd album. third album, they might have gotten that or been influenced by this title, Master of Reality, Master of Puppets. James has said many times how influenced he is by Black Sabbath. I don't think it's coincidence. Anyway, that's just a theory of mine. I didn't score it. 97 out of 100. It's fantastic. It's an A-plus album. Is it perfect? Well, I'll leave that up to you. Go listen to it. Tell me what you think in the comments, or don't. That's fine. Some people don't care for this kind of music. That's fine. I really like it. But, we all listen to things differently. And just like beer, we all taste things differently. Person A might not like what person B likes, and person B might like what person A doesn't like. And that's fine. We all listen and taste things differently. Great album. Go listen to it. Let me know what you think. Or if this is your first time listening to Sabbath, maybe this is a gateway to get into Sabbath. Or if maybe you know of this album and love it, that's cool too. A lot of people have heard of this band. They're very popular. They're not a underground band by any means. They have retired, though, officially as of 2021. Ozzy is not in great health. Their last album was in 2014, I want to say, or 13. The other members are kind of doing things here and there, but they're kind of quiet. Not really doing a whole lot. They're older. They're in their early 70s, so getting up there. But yeah, we probably will not have another Black Sabbath album, so we really got to listen and cherish what we have from them, because a lot of these bands, and we see with ZZ Top especially, these rock band guys are dying off quick. I mean, they're getting old. These 70s and 80s rock bands, there's not going to be a whole lot of rock music coming from the big legends of rock music anymore, because they're just getting old and they're just dying off, and it's pretty sad. But we have the music recorded. That's what I like to collect CD and vinyl for, is because I can capture a moment in history that probably won't ever be replicated again. So that's the way I see it. Thank you for watching this album review of Master of Reality by Black Sabbath.